Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're talking 90 Day The Last Resort Season 2 Episode 20 Tell All Part 3. So yeah, we're just gonna get on into it. This part was okay. Again, I'm more excited for next week's part because then we're gonna get to the stuff that I really want to see and stuff. But in this tell-all, we picked up where we left off with Stacy and Florian. And we picked up when Sean asked Georgie, Darcy's husband, that should Stacy trust Florian, and he said maybe not. But then that was just a bad edit because he was really saying maybe some things you could trust, some things you don't. I'm not with him all the time. That's my friend, this, and that. So they brought up the time when that scene back on the last resort when Darcy came to the resort and told Stacy that she got a text message from Georgie saying that he saw a girl and told him to tell her that tell Florian I said thank you for walking me home that day or whatever. And Stacy was suspecting that he was cheating or whatever because it happened in the middle of the night and everything. And he vaguely remembers. So like what happened was that Florian was at a bar, and he was coming home and he seen this girl that was pretty drunk, and I guess she lives in the same apartment complex or building complex as him and Stacy. So he walked her home, and that was basically it. Basically, so he didn't like cheat on her, at least that's what he says and everything. So yeah, so there's just a lot of like back and forth between the trust factor between Stacy and Florian and stuff. Sean asked Stacy how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust Florian, and she said a 7. And so they asked like who all thinks that thinks that Florian will stay loyal basically throughout the rest of their marriage, and all like do you think Florian will cheat again? And all the girls raised their hands and said yes. The guy said no and everything. So after that they said goodbye to Darcy and Georgie, and then we hit to Ari and Benny. Now, Ari and Benny, they had left the resort early. Their relationship ended really quickly. They did not make any progress. So Ari suspected, and I have to apologize on something. At the beginning, when we first saw the trailer for Last Resort, I had made a prediction that, yes, they're going to accuse Benny of cheating and everything, but, Ari's probably hasn't been all that faithful either. I was wrong about that. Ari stayed faithful and loyal throughout this whole time and everything. We were just like, I was just not over flaunting her ex-husband in front of him back on the other way and on their 90 days. So I was wrong, and I apologize on that. But so they asked Benny, like, Benny, have you cheated on Ari? Yes or no? And he said yes. And it was during the time when Ari was pregnant. Right, it was like right before she had the baby, right before the C-section. I guess he was cheating. Ari mentioned that she went through his phone and saw a message from a girl saying "I love you" and everything. And she said she regrets not taking a screenshot and sending it to herself because she didn't want to raise the baby alone. And so, like, throughout the last resort and everything, remember, Ari had Benny's passports and everything, and she wouldn't give it to him, and that was basically all what Benny wanted. Now, Ari was frustrated with the cast, mostly the guys, because they didn't call out Benny, like, for his cheating, but they called out Jasmine and everything. Rob had mentioned, well, I could clearly see, I don't see Benny cheating. I could clearly see there was some cheating going over there when he put the Jasmine and stuff and everything. And so they talked about that. Then they brought out Ari's mom, Janice. And Ari's mom, Janice, comes out and, she says her piece. She said, the real reason that Ari held on to the passwords, it really wasn't all that necessary. But they also claimed that she was also trying to protect Benny as well. apparently Benny has been getting DMs from girls that want to be with him, and they threaten him. They threaten to extort him, basically saying, like, if you don't give me what I want, then I'm gonna, like, basically ruin your reputation and everything. And I'm just trying to think, like, okay, what does he have to hide? Unless he's sending them provocative pictures, what does he really have to hide? Like, I mean, like, if there's no like, what are you trying to get, like, from him? Like, what are you trying to ruin his reputation for? I don't get why people like to do that. Like, I know you're frustrated at times, but I just don't understand why people have to, like, try to go ruin somebody's reputation, just, like, for really no reason. Like, if you don't like get into an argument with something, don't like something that they did, you got to go, like, destroy and try to destroy their life. Like, that's, and I realize the people who try to do that the people who do that are the ones, they're destroying their own lives by doing that, basically, because when you do that, you're actually setting yourself up for failure instead of the person you're trying to do it with. So just keep that in mind, people. When you're trying to ruin somebody's reputation and go above and beyond to try to do so, you're only hurting yourself more in the process than you're trying with the other person. So then there was a conversation between Ari and Julia. Now, on Between the Sheets throughout the season, I remember back early in the season on Last Resort when Benny likes to, how Benny likes to dance around and everything, and there was a scene like when they were at a restaurant getting breakfast when Benny was dancing with everybody and spinning the girls around and all that. When they went to the club, spinning dancing with Jasmine, Gina didn't mind, and they asked Florian, like Florian didn't like that, and then like Florian and like then Benny and Stacy got up and started dancing and everything, and Florian was pissed. He was like, if Benny does that in my country, you ain't gonna do that no more, like a threat. See, this is why I don't like Florian. I'm telling you, all the girls like him. This is why I don't like Florian. Who are you to threaten? Yes, I understand cultures, like nobody messes it, doesn't like to touch other people's wives, okay, but you don't be threatening, saying, if you're gonna do that in my country, you ain't gonna be doing that no more. Like, dude, shut the hell up, please. Like, he think he all big and tough. He think he all tough guy. And they said it best with Florian. Florian always demands respect and everything from people, but he doesn't respect anybody else. He always demands respect, but doesn't respect anybody else. He doesn't respect Stacy or the other girls or anything. So yeah, like I said, unpopular opinion. I don't like Florian. I don't. So they talked about that, and then the Julia thing. So Between the Sheets, like, I guess Ari and Julia were texting each other after that scene where they were dancing and all that, and Ari playfully sent Julia a message saying, "I hate you," and the B word and everything. But she showed that to Julia, and they were laughing about it. Well, somehow that was mistaken. Like, somehow that got to somebody else, and it turned into like a little controversial thing. And then on Between the Sheets, Ari had called Julia the C word. I'm like, ooh, oh, no, no, no. She was like, I felt like everybody, I went to a resort with not having enough friends. I thought I was getting along with Julia and Sophie, but then she started acting like the C word and everything. And Julia's like, that is the worst thing you can call somebody, especially woman to woman, and basically, and everything. So they cleared up some misconfusion on that. They went back and forth a little bit, but then apologized to each other and gave each other a hug. I wanted to see them like really like go at it and stuff and everything, but they did clear that up. And I'll get back to Julia in a minute when it comes to that. So then after that, then they talked to Natalie and Goofy Natalie and Josh. Now, I kept the Goofy off for a while with Natalie, but now she's back to being Goofy Natalie. So Natalie and Josh. So on part one, they revealed that even though they broke up, they were still like getting together briefly to get their groove on. I guess Natalie has been sending Josh messages, pictures, and saying, "Come F me," and everything. And Josh is just like, okay, and everything. So they do that, but then they still hate each other, which makes zero sense. So like a big question was asked, like why Josh hasn't invited Julia out to Vegas, or as Natalie calls it, Vegas, and everything, into Josh's house. Josh had mentioned that there's no like mysterious things going on in my house and everything. I am a very family person. Natalie has like threatened like my kid's mother a lot, like send like and threatened like my people I've been talking to, this and that and everything, calling them names and all that. And it's just not a safe world with her. They also asked, now this is where I kind of got pissed off with Josh. Like Sean had asked him, like throughout the 3 years that you and Natalie were together, did you consider yourself your boyfriend and girlfriend? Natalie says yes, but Josh says no. They also asked like if Josh had like was intimate with anybody since like during those 3 years. He said no, but then they came back to the question, and then he said, so wait, so you haven't had sex with anybody in the 3 years besides Natalie? And then he changes that to yes. He just freaking contradicted himself. So he just, like I say, he's just as goofy as she is. But so I don't even know why they just doing it just so they can stay on the show basically. But anyway, so then after they talked about him not inviting her to the house, and her like I guess like threatening all the family and all that, he also made an accusation to Natalie, and that that he's a bad father online, and that her son should be worried and living in a bad environment, or his son or his kids are in a bad environment, living with a felon or something like that, and everything. And Josh was actually starting to get really mad. Josh never gets mad. He never gets mad. He was starting to get really mad. Natalie was denying everything. She said, "Oh, you're just trying to make me look bad." And the thing is, I believe Josh when it comes to that, because that does sound like something Natalie would do, basically, and everything. Like all the accusations that Josh made towards Natalie, I believe Josh. It does sound like Natalie. He said that she was calling them excuse me. She was calling them names. She was calling like hookers and all that stuff, like she always does, basically. So I believe everything. Like, and Josh was like, Natalie, if you keep denying this, I'm gonna be really mad, because like it's the truth and everything, and like, and he basically called her a scam artist and told her to shut up and everything. And that's basically where we left off with the cliffhanger. Now, like I said, in my opinion, I believe everything that Josh is saying. I believe that Natalie is reaching out, like trolling some of his, like trolling his people. Like she does give stalker vibes. Like she's really like stalking him and everything, stalking his life and stuff, and basically, and stuff, and then like calling the other women names and stuff and everything and all that. So yeah. Now, judging by the previews of next week's tell all, we'll have the continuation of that. We're going to talk, we'll also probably talk about what happened with Sophie and Josh and all that and everything. And then there's going to be some conflict with Julia again. Like, I don't know why, like, people are, like, coming after Julia. Like, Ari came after Julia. Now Natalie's going to be going after Julia, like, and everything. Like why is people picking on Julia? Like I guess like throughout the season, remember in the beginning of the season there was some stuff online when that bar scene, when you remember when Natalie and Sophie got into it, when Natalie tipped her glass and all that, everything, because she thought that she was talking to Josh or whatever. And then like I guess like on social media, and I think I seen that Natalie was calling Julia a liar and everything. So in the previews, like they're showing Julia and Natalie going up, and in Russian, whatever, Julia says, if you keep coming at me online, I'm going to F you up. I was like, oh shoot. Okay, get her, Julia. Get her, Julia. Now, like I said, I don't believe in violence. I don't promote violence. Like if you're going to handle something, handle it maturely. But there are just some people that really, really push your buttons, and where violence like which is like it's really like literally the last resort. Like I said, I'm not a violent person. I don't like violence. I don't believe in violence. But some people like Natalie, I don't know. Like if Julia wants to really f Natalie up, like just do it. Because Natalie, someone like Natalie, goofy Natalie, calls all these people names and stuff, and she's gonna say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and somebody really is gonna f her up and everything, and she thinks she can like charm her way through it and all that. She has no idea, and she's lucky she's like all over the place and living in like in LA and Florida or whatever, all those places where she could be protected. But if she comes to the wrong area and says the wrong things like that, she's gonna be checked. Just saying. Now, like I said, like it's just really her mouth is just getting to the point where somebody's gonna end up doing something. So, and I believe every single word that about the accusations that Josh is putting on Natalie. Now, at the same time, Josh is still just as goofy as she is because he keeps like going back to her. He needs to start denying her the sex and everything, and just like block her and just like leave her alone basically, and quit going back to her and stuff and everything. So I don't know why he keeps like giving her the time of day. He don't really like her, don't really want to be with her, but he just wants to sleep with her. So he's not innocent in this situation either. So it is what it is. So yeah, guys, that was part 3 of the tell-all at the last resort. I guess we got like two or three more parts. Man, I don't know why they're dragging this out because I'm ready for this to be over. But next week, I can't. Like I said, we'll see the continuations of Rob and with Josh and Natalie, and then we'll talk more with Rob and Sophie. I guess they're gonna bring out Sophie's old friend Kay and everything, and then we'll finally hit Gina and Jasmine. So I can't. This is the first time I'm waiting for the Gina and Jasmine segment. They usually do them first, but now they're doing them last and stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. Anyway, before I sign off, I was doing some thinking. I do want to give a couple things that are be coming up. On the Nathan Temp 2 page, I also cover Catfish, but we haven't been seeing that for a while. I get with Neve Schulman's accident a few months ago and Cameron Crawford leaving the show, like they haven't filmed or haven't announced the season 10 yet. Like it's like been like a year since we last seen Catfish, basically. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna do a couple old rewatch episodes that some of my like favorite and intense episodes that I liked over the years. Like I'm gonna do like remember DJ Malik and Josiah episode. I'm gonna do the Joanna and Bo episode and the Dylan and Savina episode. I'm gonna be doing some Catfish rewatch reviews, and I think I'm gonna start that either sometime this week or next week. So y'all be on the lookout for that while we wait for the new season to come out. If there's even going to be a new season, we haven't heard anything yet. And another update, like I said, I've talked to Matt and Minnie from 2/3 of the throuple that are on regular 90 Day Fiance. I shared my page with the Minnie. She asked me to send her the link to the channel. She looked at one of my videos and everything. So we'll see if they will come on. More than likely, they're going to be coming on this channel at the end of the season for the first interview. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, guys, we are growing. So yeah, so if I don't do the Catfish rewatch this week, I'll see you guys back in on Sunday and Monday to recap 90 Day Fiance. And so yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Share with a friend, coworker, whatever. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, y'all.